Okay, we are live. We are live. We are live. Hair's looking a little bit fuck wuckied right now. Good God. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Hi, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. Ah, hello there. Hello there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hello, everybody. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the Valenti VOD. The toothpaste shirt is becoming a distant memory at this point. Yeah, you fucking animals. I ain't gonna wear that one again, you sons of bitches. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Hi, how are you? Welcome, 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 welcome. We've got a packed show for you today. And on top of that, I'm sure that we have even more stuff to be thrown in from the daily Docutussi, if you've got a Docutussi for me. But we had a massive fucking victory yesterday with Angie Nixon. Massive victory. We have our first ever DSA member as a candidate for the United States Senate. Do you know how fucking momentous this is? Like a proud socialist just won the nomination for the Democratic Senate in what state is this? What state is she in? In Florida, right? Yeah, in Florida. Fucking massive. Massive news. Thank you for the $10. Bad news is my wrist is fucked up beyond belief. Good news is I'm no longer eligible for the draft. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, we'll lower the requirements and use you regardless. Regardless. Dude, Jake Lang is being a mega plant. Jake Lang is an actual agent of Israel. That's not a joke. Jake Lang like role plays as like a Christian nationalist, like a crusader against the Muslims. Jake Lang is paid by the Israeli government to try and foment a civil war in the United States of America, specifically a race war between white Christians and Muslims. That is actually like confirmed fact. Jake Lang is an actual Israeli agent. I'm not telling you my opinion, I'm telling you an actual fact. Trump's rectum is so prolapsed that it is literally a fruit roll-up. Yeah. Also, don't forget, guys, Jake Lang is Jewish. Jake Lang is not Christian. Like when he goes out and he's like, Christians, unite, take your country back. That it's like if you're a Christian, you could be like, bro, who are you talking to? You talking to us? Because you're not us. You're not fucking Christian. And that is not a joke. Again, this is not my opinion. Jake Lang is Jewish. He has on his picture, him on his Facebook, a picture of him wrapped into fill-in, wearing the box on his head, kissing the wall in Israel. That's real. That's real. That's not a joke. I am feeling much better. I went on like a 6-mile walk yesterday, and then I came home and I shit my fucking brains out, and now I'm feeling a lot better. A lot better. Good morning, OL. Now stop eating lettuce. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's 108 degrees in Oklahoma. Good God, bro. Good God. No, but climate change ain't real, though, right? Climate change ain't real, though. No binky. We will be binkying. We will be binkying. However, I've made some incredible changes to my diet, my exercise regimen, and my health, especially when it comes to the amount of bong rips I was taking per day. I was taking like 15 to 20 bong rips per day, which just simply cannot be good for your lungs. And then our Lisan Al Gaib, Nelson Snow, he actually got me onto like an herb vaporizer that I've been using through a water bubbler. So my lungs have been feeling far better. Now what I got to do is quit the fucking vaping. I talked to my therapist about it, and she is that a fucking AC 130? That's a fucking AC 130. I swear on God's name. That's fucking diabolical. I see the craziest shit out here. But I saw a stealth bomber once. Anyway, my therapist gave me two good ideas. She said I should buy the most disgusting flavor possible. Right? Oh wait, enemy AC 130 above. Hold on, where is it? Sounds. Enemy AC 130 above. So yeah, there's that. But she said I should buy the most disgusting flavor possible, right? So, because I like mint. So she was like, okay, first thing you got to do is buy, like, I don't know, like a tobacco flavored vape or a banana flavored vape, something disgusting. Then the second thing I got to do is get one, this is 5% nicotine, get one that is less nicotine. Right? So I could start with that. And then eventually what I'm going to try to do is transition, and I know this is insane, but transition into smoking cigarettes because I can't smoke a cigarette in my apartment. I have to go outside to smoke a cigarette. Come here, you little fucking fly. I caught a fly. No! Got it. Dead motherfucker. Dead motherfucker. You die. You die. You die, GI. You die. You go home. GI, go home. GI, go home. Real quick, I just want to show you one thing. So I was playing Hell Let Loose Vietnam last night with Nelson and a couple of my friends. And one of my friends, incredibly talented, Julian, you should, what's his TikTok, if you want to follow him on TikTok. He makes some great gaming content, Julian Sawinski. It's at King_Kaboogan. Somebody screenshot this and post it. It's King Kaboogan. You can't really see it because of how white it is. At King_Kaboogan. And Kaboogan is Koboogan. He posts some great Hell Let Loose content, some great gaming content. And last night, bro, we were playing and he got murked and he delivered what I would argue is one of the most realistic and blood-curdling screams in gaming history. Okay, so I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you that right now. I put it on my story. Where's the volume?
I do this for one cheap man!
Yeah, there's enemies in the woods.
Listen to that again. Wait, ready?
I do this for one cheap man!
Yeah, there's enemies in the woods.
That scream was insane, bro! Do not die!
Like the helicopter gunner.
Do not die!
Do not die! Do not die! Do not die!
I do this for one cheap man!
Yeah, there's enemies in the woods.
That scream was insane, bro! Do not die!
Do not die!
Helicopter gunner.
Do not die!
That was the most realistic scream I ever fucking heard.
I need to fucking clip that.
That shit was so fucking funny when it happened. Like, I can't even explain to you. Oh, it was so unbelievably fucking funny. I agree. Soundboard that shit? Perhaps, mayhaps. Anyway, did somebody send me the doc? You did. I have it right here. I have it right here, believe it or not. Luigi, what's the problem? What seems to be the issue, Miss Lady? Miss Girl? Sweet Miss Girl? Luigi, what's the problem, little mama? Are you Carl Maxing? I am Ho Chi Minh Maxing. Like that? Alrighty. Let me also just blast. No, we're not recording yet. Let me blast the AC because I'm already starting to sweat. Got to get that going right now, instantly and immediately. Luigi, wow! Oh, Luigi, wow! Go get. We are Cheerland, we carry the flame. We fight for the gospel and honor its name. We are Cheerland. Damn these ads. Yeah, no, new clip just dropped. Valenti Videos abuses his dog. Oh no. Oh no. I tried my best. I'm overworked. What do you mean tried your best? I mean in the thumbnail? It's looking great. Thank you for the $20. My wife and I celebrated our anniversary yesterday. I may have accelerated when she was taking a drink of water. It got everywhere. She choked and threw up right into the flower bundle I got her. We laughed so hard. That's fucking hilarious. Thank you for the $20. Onyx just became a member for 14 months. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. How's everybody doing? Everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing good. Yeah, I'm exhausted, bro. Been working 10-hour days. Listen, dog, I appreciate you. We all appreciate you. Everybody tell Nelson that they appreciate him. You know, you're a hardworking man. You're a father. You know, you're a husband. You're a hardworking man. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. Okay, so don't you ever think that you're not doing the work. You're doing the work. You're doing the work. We love you, Nelson. You're doing the work. Same thing to all the mods. Disobedient Avocado, Jack Wolf. We love you all. You guys are doing great work. I love you all. I love you all. This whole thing doesn't happen without Nelson. Not true. However, Nelson plays a massive fucking role. Nelson does play a massive role. You know who this whole thing doesn't happen without? Ovi. This whole thing does not happen without Ovi. Ovi is quite literally he's the brains behind, or I'm just the talent, okay? I'm just the talent, but Ovi is the tech guru. The tech guru. But Nelson does tremendous work. All the mods do. All the mods do. Luigi, especially considering the fact this is my job. This is not the mods' job. The mods have their own jobs. The mods, you know, this is just an additional source of income, and I'm assuming just something that you guys enjoy to be a part of. So I really do appreciate and love all of you so very much. You know, I feel like I don't tell you guys enough how unbelievably grateful I am for you. Or I do. I tell you every day, but because I tell you every day, it doesn't seem to come off as truthful as it truly is. I am so unbelievably grateful for especially the mods, but just anybody here, all of you that are here, because you guys have given me the opportunity to have a career doing something that I genuinely love, you know. And when you love what you do, it ain't really like work, you know. However, you know, I do hate you all, and I wish you all ill at the same time. I hope that's okay. I hope that's okay. I hope that's all right. And also, you know, my brother said to me the other day, he goes, you know, you really are Spider-Man. He said that to me. He said, you're Spider-Man. What do I got, a piece of bacon in there? Let me go get a toothpick. He said, you are Spider-Man, and with great power comes great responsibility. So I gotta be, you know, I gotta be a little bit careful with the shit that I say online. And he's right. Where are my fucking tooth? Alrighty, forgive me for this. I know it's disgusting. There we go. Just move it to another tooth. We're looking good, folks. We're looking good, folks. We're looking good. Okie dokie, artichoke. This is a torta.
La torta della noche. La torta della noche. La torta della noche.
All right, yeah, let's finish the thummies real quick so Nelson can get back to work. All right, so this is the first one because the Iranians are vowing to destroy U.S. bases all across Europe. So I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. Hold on, I know what I'm thinking. Give me a second. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. You ready? You ready? You ready, Nelson? Luigi, shush. Stop it. Okay, you ready? How's that? How's that? Oh, how's that? Oh! It smells like Vietnamese blood! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Okay. Chris, what? Chat was in the way? Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Can you just erase the chat with a little eraser? You didn't even get one, you fucking rat bitch? Okay. It was a prop. Okay, you ready? Better? Oh. Good job, Mama. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Miss Weege. Thank you, Miss Weege. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Weege. So much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Send in a super chat or else you support the Iran war. Send in a super chat or lest you support the Iran war, you know? Oh. W. Nelson. Okay, second one. Socialist senator. Socialist senator. Where do you put a toothpick? Yeah. Chris, I'm impoverished. Fix it. Fix it. What did Josh just send me?
Care. Why do you guys comment this shit under my videos? I don't give a fuck about you. No, kill yourself. I don't care. Why do you guys comment this shit under my videos? I don't give a fuck about you.
Yumi is hilarious, bro. Some guy commented, I'm a Republican, will you date me? This was her response.
No, kill yourself. I don't care. Why do you guys comment this shit under my videos? I don't give a fuck about you. No, kill yourself. I don't care. Why do you guys comment
This is
shit?
Chatham Mogler's girlfriend, by the way. Fucking, how dare you slide into the DMs of Chatham Mogler's girlfriend, you sick freak. I mean, I'm in there, though. But that's different. That's to discuss strategy. That's to discuss strategy. Okay? That's different. Thank you for the $1. Thank you for the $2. I was in Athens and I saw 2 tortoises cracking. Is it tortoises or tortai? Tortai, I believe. 2 tortai. Chris tries to use technology. Y'all can go fuck a duck. That's what y'all can do. Y'all can go fuck a duck. Fed posting is apparently just my genuine thoughts about the state of the world. I love modern internet culture. You know what a Fed post is, okay? You guys know what a Fed post is. You know when you know. I feel like you don't even need a definition of a Fed post. You know what a Fed post is, you know? You can figure that out. You can figure that out. It's pretty easy to figure out what's a Fed post and what isn't. Bro, I work in a smoke shop. This is an Aura. Air Bar Aura. Air Bar Aura. Raise your aura. Air Bar. We come in mint. Yeah, some thoughts are inside thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Some thoughts are inside thoughts. I stay Fed posting in your Discord server. What do you mean, your Discord server? I'm not in there, folks. I call that plausible deniability. What do you think the odds are that there's a CIA agent in that Discord? $5. With this development in the Iran war, I propose that the UK move all their bases to Milton Keynes. Milton Keynes? What the fuck is Milton Keynes? Is that a guy? Is that a dude? Is that a man? Is that a dude, bro? Yeah, let's play a game, guys. It's called Who's the Fed? Okay? Statistically speaking, someone here is a fucking Fed. We gotta figure it out. We gotta figure it out. It's me. It's me. I don't know. I don't know the words to the Soviet anthem. I don't know the words. I'm calling Peter Thiel right now. It could be you. It could be me. Wait, what is it? It could be him. It could be you. It could even be, and then he doesn't even get to say the word me. Pop. Pop goes the weasel. Sing the Boatman of the Volga, Soda Popinski's theme from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. What? Thoughts on orange juice prices? Pretty high.
Red Spy in the base.
Okay, okay.
Leave her, Johnny, leave her.
What if Chris is a psyop? Yeah, dude, that'd be a great twist. You know? Like, because the thing is, I'm not. But if I was a psyop, if I was a Fed, I'd be the most effective Fed of all time. You know what I mean? I'd be the best Fed who has ever lived. But realistically, I'm not a Fed. I am a 14,000-year-old reptilian shapeshifter from the Andromeda Galaxy. But, you know, it doesn't matter whether I say it, you won't believe it anyway. I don't know who the Fed is, but I heard one of us is an owl. Who? I got an $80 megaphone, finna go troll in Oklahoma, probably get jumped by cops. My wife loves watching you, she always busts out laughing. Much love. Thank you, Ending One Party, for the $5 donation. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. We are all cracking. Everyone's cracking.
Little Donald, I need you to send every last goyim to the front lines of Iran. Little Donald. Did you forget about the vault in Tel Aviv? Little Donald. Did you forget about the videos of you raping children? Little Donald.
Why do ducks have tail feathers to cover their butt quack? Ban that guy forever. I'm kidding. Don't do that. 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 Goy story. All right. All right. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from Epstein Island, it's your host, Chris Valenti.
All right, everybody, y'all ready to go? Y'all ready to go? Or actually, we have not combed through the docu-tussy yet, so let's take a gander at the docu-tussy. A government that can't tolerate protest can't tolerate democracy. This is fantastic. Vibe check. Oliver Larkin may have lost a seat, but still secured 33% of the vote for South Florida. That's impressive and effectively boosts DSA efforts. I'm going to give you guys a pro tip as somebody who was very involved in this industry. You know, friends with Oliver Larkin. Talk to him regularly. Here's the thing. You got to take a couple of pages from the Trump book, okay? And one of those pages, and something that I enforce, is you do not shine a light on your losses. Are we sad Oliver lost? Yes. Will we be addressing Oliver's loss? For 1 second and 1 second only, okay? And you gotta paint it in a good light, and then you pretend it never fucking happened. You do not address your defeats. You do not hand the enemy ammunition. You focus on your victories. When you lose, you pretend you didn't. You do not focus on it. You do not shine a light on it. You just move forward, and that is what we will do. That is what we will do. Which is why we're going to be focused primarily on Angie Nixon's victory rather than Oliver Larkin's loss. Okay? That was the mindset that blew up Chernobyl. Chernobyl didn't blow up, it had a meltdown. You fucking idiot. I'm kidding. Yeah, you learn and you move on. You don't make content on it. You don't fucking focus on it. It's not the focus of your video. You just move forward. You just move forward. You just move forward. The reactor core literally exploded. The nuclear power plant did not. There is a vast difference between a nuclear explosion and a nuclear meltdown. And I believe Chernobyl was a meltdown, not an explosion. Am I correct or am I incorrect? It didn't melt down, it exploded. Let's find out. How long have you been anti-Plattner? Since the first fucking day. Since the first fucking day. Did Chernobyl melt down or explode? Oh, fuck. A little bit of both, son. A little bit of both, son. Chernobyl exploded and then suffered a core meltdown. Well, that ain't very good. You know, if I was there when that happened, I would have said, guys, this is bad. This is not a good thing. This is really bad. We need to fix this. We need to get on it and get on it now. We need to fix that. That's what I would have done. I would have said, no, not good. Mark, this is bad news. We cannot be bees. We can't be bees. The meltdown was caused by an explosion, not the other way around. Ah, well, that's just proof that Ukraine can't do anything right. You know? Anyway, I also would have stopped 9/11. You know, I would have shot those planes down and then the buildings would have gone down anyway. Friendly reminder, this is something that nobody ever really addresses. 3 towers went down. Okay? I know, I say nobody really addresses it, but plenty of people address it, but I feel like most people don't know this. 2 planes, 3 towers. The fuck? The fuck? The fuck? The fuck? The fuck? You know, makes no sense. We can finally be bees. People pretend like that didn't happen. No, that happened. 2 planes, 3 towers. The fuck? Crazy. Crazy. You know? Yeah, Tower 7 kind of just did it, you know? Be anti-Ukraine. Ukraine funds Israel and gives them drones to kill Palestinians and wanted to be the bigger Israel. Don't be pro-Russia, though. I'm not sure if that's true that Ukraine arms Israel. I don't know if that's true. Ukraine doesn't have the capability to be arming anybody. They need every last shot that they have. However, I was very upset when Zelensky struck a Iranian oil tanker. Or not oil tanker, an Iranian ship. But listen, at the end of the day, I do support Ukraine's defense against the Russian horde. But I also don't believe that the United States of America should be arming any country at all. Not even joking about that. I'm very much so an isolationist, except for circumstances like genocide. As soon as a country is committing genocide on an innocent population, not only do I believe in like sanctions and shit like that, but I believe in military action against those nations. I fully support the American military action against Nazi Germany because they were committing the Holocaust. I vehemently support the American military action against Imperial Japan because of the, I would also call it a Holocaust that they were committing against the Chinese. When it comes to genocide, I'm fully on board with military action. All I'm saying is remember the oil spills in the Gulf as a kid and the Dawn dish soap ads are the ads coming back with all these tankers being bombed. No one's doing those ads because when you address oil spills, you address the failure of capital and the decay of the planet. So in America, no, you're probably not going to see any of those advertisements. We're not going to do that. Not anymore. I mean, we try to pretend like climate change isn't real and that affecting the climate isn't real, so... Trump going live soon? No idea. All right, we've spent half an hour here. Let's take a look through the docu-tussie. Running low on time during the fight against fascism? No worries. Check out the meat and potatoes here. Out with Caroline and in with Natalie Harp. Yeah, this has been a big story. On CNN, they interviewed her brother. Dearborn protest leads to 22 arrests during Jake Lang's Christian Crusade demonstration. Let's get a look-see. Yeah, Jake Lang, he's an Israeli Jew role-playing as a Christian nationalist, and he is paid by the Israeli government to foment the seeds of a civil war or a race war in the United States of America. And, we talked about this. I made a video. All right? Not going to be watching any sort of advertisement. You can suck my fat one. I do have some footage on my Instagram of the response. Hold on. Yeah, the Habibis came out hard. Habibis came out hard to fight back against these fucking Christian nationalists that took a trip up to Dearborn, Michigan. Shouts out to all of the Habibis. I'm pretty sure it was an overall fucking failure across the board for the biker fucks who made their way up to Dearborn in order to protest outside of the largest mosque. I'm pretty sure it was just a resounding failure. Resounding failure. Jake Lang has a Trump 2028 butt plug inserted. Indeed he does. This is actually a true fact. Luigi, what's wrong, Bubba? It usually comes when I sing that, whatever. All right. Let's take a look. It was actually in Dearborn. The Arab community was amazing protesting against the invasive Nazis. I believe it. Today's doc brought to you by Ellie, Zoe, Valentisim, Zio, Misfits, Aster, Fangy, Rojo, Solid, and Sith Lord. Today's cover photo by Anish Pralis Sketchin on IG. Incredible. Incredible. Community corner, we got a little bit of artwork here. Love that. Oh, look at a burb. You made a burb friend, and his name is Gerald. How the fuck do people get burbs to hang out with them? My grandfather used to be able to get burbs to hang out with him. He'd hold seeds in his hand. This is a man who stormed Guadalcanal. He holds seeds in his hands, and he'd be standing out there fucking shirtless, fat body covered in hair. Be like, look at his bird. Look at his bird. I remember when he was dying on his fucking deathbed, we brought him a chicken cutlet, and he ate the cutlet, and he said, last chicken cutlet you're ever gonna eat, tumor. What a hard motherfucker. What a hard motherfucker. Last chicken cutlet you're ever gonna eat, tumor. That motherfucker was a savage. That motherfucker was a savage, man. Real Italian for real? No, that guy was a fucking savage. That guy was a fucking savage. Granted, this is my step-grandfather. My real grandfather was a piece of shit, so my step-grandfather was the one who, like, genuinely raised my father and his brothers, his brother and his sisters. But yeah, regardless, like, no blood relation to this man, but still, absolute ledge. That's the man that I called Papa. That was Papa Willie. Papa Willie. Papa Willie. What a name, what a name, what a name, what a name. Anyway. Keep going here. Oh, Liquid Death Garage Beer, Jason Kelsey, want your pee. I saw this. This was a, this was essentially like an anti-AI advertisement, right?
AI data centers waste millions of gallons of water. That's why Liquid Death and Garage Beer have decided to team up. We want your pee to cool these data centers.
We want your pee. Please give us your pee. Let's pee on computers together. 'Cause we need lots of pee. Endless gallons of pee. Join our important endeavor. We want your pee. Please give us your pee. Let's pee on computers together and save humanity. We want your pee.
With Garage Beer's classic light beer and Liquid Death sparkling energy, the light beer of energy drinks.
Thank you for the $20 donation. Much love from a middle-aged socialist in the UK. Thank you, comrade.
It's never been easier to create pee.
Let's be on computers together and save humanity.
So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and have another Garage Beer or Liquid Death sparkling energy. Then send your pee to the AI data center of your choice.
It says in the bottom, the suits, look at this, it says, the suits want us to tell you to please don't actually send your pee.
Center of your choice. We even make it easy with these collectible, sealable mugs.
We want your pee.
Luigi, du har rast the Kerry. Kom till Hilfe, Aktun. Come. She's coming. Good girl. Hi, Mama. What happened? What were you barking at? What happened? What happened? What happened? Okay. That's funny. Trump speaks at a meeting with tech leaders. Is this live right now?
And we ended the war on crypto once and for all. And it's been booming. It's been doing.
Might have to watch this.
And nobody's been able to break in. China would like to break in. They're still trying, but they have been able to. I signed a historic executive order banning any attempt to create a central bank digital currency. We launched Project Crypto to modernize rules so that our financial markets can move into blockchain technology. I established the United States Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, making Bitcoin a permanent asset of the United States Treasury, which has turned out incredibly well. I also created the United States Digital Asset Stockpile to hold custody of all other digital assets.
He doesn't know what any of this means, by the way. He doesn't know what any of this means.
1 year ago this summer, I signed landmark legislation known as the Genius Act. I named it after myself. I didn't want anyone to.
God, he's such a
fucking
fucking
I didn't want to use
cuck.
my name, so I just called it the Genius Act.
Yo, further reminder,
Paving the way.
this is a fat, retarded pedophile. That's a fat, retarded pedophile. That's what that is.
Very well. Every
Calls
single
himself a
American
genius.
benefits enormously from our country's status as the financial center of the world, and we want to keep it that way. We're leading by leaps and bounds. We've gained so much in the last 16 months, like nobody can believe, actually. Not only that, but we have more money being invested in the United States.
He's going to say 19 trillion. He's going to say 19 trillion.
In history, money's coming in by the trillions. Our nation's economic dominance drives trillions of dollars in investments, creates millions of jobs, and expands access credit
Comrade
and
Iris.
capital so that every citizen has a chance to achieve what we now hear a lot about, the American dream. Young people are looking for the American dream. They weren't thinking about that 2 years ago. New financial technologies are extending this American dominance into the 21st century, and that's why we're focused on creating a clear regulatory framework for pioneers and builders like the people that are with me here, so that they can do business with confidence on American soil. They don't have to go to other countries to do their business. We're ensuring that America remains the undisputed leader, not only in Bitcoin and crypto, but also technologies like prediction markets, artificial intelligence, and much more, and we're leading in every single one. And I will tell you, the AI, the artificial intelligence, we're way ahead of number two. Number two is China.
No, we're not.
And I never want to underestimate China, but right now we're way ahead. President Xi's coming on September 24th. We look forward to it. We'll probably be talking about AI and a lot of other things, but we're doing tremendously well, largely because of people and some other friends of ours that are on the board, and they'll be here in 2 weeks, I understand. In May, Chairman Selig authorized the first ever true Bitcoin perpetual futures contract on a
doesn't know what any of this means.
CFTC registered exchange, first time. I understand that Mike is also working to bring hyperliquid into the United States in a fully compliant and legal fashion. It's working very hard on that. We would really like to see interest rates come down. You know, in the old days with interest rates, many of you are too young to know this, but when we announced good numbers, interest rates would go down. And the theory was because the asset value became so good, it became so prime. But now when we announce good numbers, which we're doing all the time, they keep driving the interest rates up because they're so afraid of inflation. And they shouldn't be. They should allow interest rates to go down. When you announce good numbers, you shouldn't drive them up. They keep thinking that we'll drive them up to stop inflation, because success and growth does not cause inflation. Other things cause inflation. We inherited the #1 inflation ever in the history of our country from Biden, and it lifted prices and everything else, and we're getting them all down. But interest
Inflation
rates
is
should be
up,
allowed
by
to
the way.
fall with the success of our country, not rise because of the success. But we're also on the very beginning of a revolution in fictional and financial. You take a look at some of the things that are being done on a financial basis, and the financial technology that's the potential to create more jobs, opportunity, and wealth for all Americans. And that's what it's doing. It's creating jobs and great wealth. And I think that can't be better seen by the stock market. So we've had 80 in a short period of time, a year and a half. We've had 80 days where the stock market hit all-time highs. I haven't looked today. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't look. I don't want to look. But I think I hear it's good. But we've had 80 days, Jeff, where the stock market has hit an all-time high, and nobody's ever seen anything like that. And I think bringing it down to another level, and maybe a higher level from the standpoint of importance,
from the standpoint of importance,
record highs on almost 40% of the time that I've been president of the United States, and that affects tens of millions of people. The 401ks are at record numbers. So 2 years ago, our country was dead, and now our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody close. No other country is close, and every country will admit it. So now we need Congress to take the next step by passing the Clarity Act, a fair version of the Clarity Act, and this landmark structure legislation. It's a very, very powerful structured legislation which will keep us ahead of China, keep us ahead of everyone else.
He's just rambling. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And I don't know what he's talking about because I'm fucking retarded. So I don't know what none of that means. Weaver ants are fucking cool. What are these? Ants? I don't like ants. Muting it. Oh my God. What the fuck? Do you think ants have oil? Do you think there's oil anywhere in these ant colonies? Because if there are, like, we should take it. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? All right. Just your average nationalist Republican? What is this?
Some new flags on his Stratford house this week. The U.S. flag, probably obvious reason.
Yes,
nice.
My country's flag, obviously.
U.S. flag,
and the
hell
Nazi
yeah.
flag.
Oh!
Started flying some new flags on his Stratford house this week. The U.S. flag, probably obvious reason.
Yes, my country's flag, obviously, yeah.
And the Nazi flag.
Okay, Grandpa. All right, Uncle Dieter. No need, Uncle Dieter. No need. We're going to be talking about Angie Nixon winning, but what is this, a TikTok?
NBC News projects that Angie Nixon has defeated Alexander Vindman in the Democratic primary for the United States Senate in Florida. This one is a monster of an upset. Vindman raised a ton of money, came into this with a ton of national
millions. If I remember correctly, I think it was something like between $7 and $10 million Vindman had for his campaign. Angie Nixon, $60,000, bro. And I don't know if you guys understand how insanely low that is. Like $60,000 could change your life, but when it comes to a fucking like a campaign, a political campaign, $60,000 is fucking chump change. Okay, chump change. And she won with $60,000 in her campaign.
Recognition.
You know what I will say about this, and we're going to talk about this in the video, okay? Abdul al-Sayed, or as the Fox News host likes to call him, Abdul Rahman Muhammad al-Sayed, he is not in the DSA. He's not a socialist. He is a capitalist. And yet, he also had like a couple of $1 million in his campaign. And the flack that he received, calling him a communist, a jihadist, a socialist, whatnot, compared to the way that no one said a word about Angie Nixon, goes to show that it is blatantly Islamophobia. That was the reason why Abdul was getting targeted so much, was because of the Islamophobia. Whereas we have an actual DSA candidate, an actual socialist. Yes, she's a black woman, right? But she's not Muslim. So they didn't attack her the way that they attacked everybody fucking else. It is just simply Islamophobia.
National support in this race, and the hope of Democrats that he could make this, we're going to do news now here in a second, that he could make this a fight, put Florida on the map nationally. Instead, Angie Nixon from the left has defeated him handily. NBC News.
Yeah, we're going to include that one over, where is that? Is that here? No. Is it here? Yes, it's there. Start with that. All right, let's keep going here. So we're building a helipad for cocktail parties. Oh yeah, okay. So I got to include this. I'm assuming this is in the supercut that I have, but let's take a look here.
Instead of being on grass now, they'll be using that almost like a table. They can have events on it. They can have people go there for cocktails and then walk to the ballroom after that's finished. We can have really incredible. This is unbelievable.
All right, so this is probably in the supercut I got together because we're going to be talking about how Trump is like so done with being the president. He's so tired of being the president. He is like putting 70% of his focus on fucking vanity projects. All he cares about is, you know, he's Bob the Builder, except he rapes kids.
Unbelievable for state. Without even having to go into the White House, they get out of the car on the beautiful new roadway. They get out of the car and they walk down this path onto that.
Here's my thing. I hope that Trump is no longer the president and is then alive. The reason being is I want whoever the next president is to, I'm not even kidding, destroy everything he built. Destroy the ballroom, destroy the helipad, destroy everything Trump built, because I want him to see that. I don't want him to die happy. I don't want him to think like, oh, at least I got my vanity project done. I want everything he built to be fucking destroyed, and I want him to be losing his shit on Truth Social and watching everything come torn down, obliterated. That's what I fucking want. I need him to see that.
And they can have cocktails and everything outside of the White House, and then they go into the ballroom. Even the military, they can use it like that, and we have...
That's definitely in the supercut, so I'm not too worried about that. Vance takes on the Marine Corps obstacle course. No shot. Is there footage?
This is the Vice President trying to run the Marine Corps obstacle course and try not to bust my ass or break any bones.
Look at me, habibi.
He's so funny. Oh my God, he can't do any of it. I know the reason why this is 14 seconds is because he couldn't do none of it. He couldn't do none of it. All right, breaking: Iranian fisherman's wife gives birth in the Strait of Hormuz and claims birthright U.S. citizenship for her son. Supreme Court baffled. That's hilarious. This is hilarious. See, Trump claims that the Strait of Hormuz is U.S. territory, and if it's U.S. territory, that means if you're born on that territory, it means you're a U.S. citizen. This is part of the reason why Trump wants to get rid of birthright citizenship. This also means that if you're on a boat and your child is born in the Gulf of America, that's U.S. territory. You're allowed to go. You're allowed to be a U.S. citizen. That's what it means, Donnie, you stupid fuck. All right, let's see. Iran updates, Navy ship updates. Israeli military admits for the first time on firing a car carrying 5-year-old Hind Rajab as it opens up criminal probe. Yeah, well, okay, yeah, I heard about this, but here's the thing. Israel is going to investigate itself, and then it's going to find no wrongdoing. That's what it's going to say. Israel, you can't trust the Israeli military to do a probe into Israeli war crimes. It can't happen. That's why you need the International Criminal Court. That's why you need the International Court of Justice. You know, you can't this is like when cops investigate themselves. Of course, they're going to find themselves innocent of any wrongdoing. Hormuz is that muscle knot that won't go away. You're damn right. You're damn right. So, I don't expect anything to come from this. Regime targets ICC in response to the threats that they pose to Israel. U.S. Whatever. Marco Rubio targets ICC, Tomoko Akane, and Abdoulaye Seye, who is investigating Israeli war crimes. I just want to take a gander at this to see what it is. Maybe later. Marco Rubio targets ICC, Tomoko Akane. New sanctions designations were unveiled by Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, who called the Hague-based ICC a corrupt and fatally politicized supranational court that has maliciously abused its authority and exceeded its mandate. Oh my God, what the fuck? Rubio announced that the U.S. would sanction Tomoko Akane of Japan, the ICC president, and Abdoulaye Seye of Senegal, an ICC senior trial lawyer, because they had directly engaged in efforts by the ICC to investigate, arrest, detain, and prosecute officials whose government had not consented to the ICJ jurisdiction. So we're literally sanctioning fucking the International Criminal Court because they have the audacity to call out Israel for their war crimes, just to investigate them for their war crimes. My fucking God. He's called on 125 members of the ICC to withdraw from the body. Donald Trump has said that he is targeting the ICC because of the threat that it poses to Israel. No, so the reason why they are targeting the ICC is because of the Jared Kushner New Gaza plan. So if you don't know, Jared Kushner, the pedophile son-in-law, is in charge of creating New Gaza, right? He's the one in charge of building the Trump Towers, the casinos, the beachfront property, the death camps or what they call security zones for the Palestinians. And the Board of Peace is asking for sweeping preemptive pardons for everything because they know they're going to commit war crimes. So the reason why they're trying to sanction the ICC or targeting the ICC is because they know the ICC is going to come after them for all of the war crimes they have committed. It doesn't really have to do with what Israel did. It has to do with what the Americans are planning on doing. That's what this is all about. It's fucking diabolical, dude. It's absolutely diabolical. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. I guess I'll include that with, right here. Yeah, I'll include that right there. That'll be, I think, the last thing that we talk about. Oh, what did I just do? There we go. South Korea president calls for military independence in wake of Trump's call to cut joint drills. Yeah, well, it took you long enough. There's always a bright side. You know, the grass is always greener on the other side. And when Trump does this stupid shit, like weaken our ties with South Korea and strengthen our ties with North Korea, it ends up leading to more independence for these vassal states. South Korea calls for military independence. We love that. We love that. We love that. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, listen, I advocate for that. I want the South Koreans to have military independence. Like the reality of the matter is, like, things are simple if you boil them down into like a relatable feature, which is like you can have your own gun and you can defend yourself, or you can not have a gun, but your neighbor is armed to the teeth and they vow to defend you, right? But then when your neighbor says, I'm not defending you anymore, now you're defenseless. So I'm a full advocate for, you know, every nation having military independence. You should be able to protect your own people without relying on the United States of America, because then what happens is a fucking madman takes the office of the presidency and you're fucked now. You know, like, you need to be able to protect your own people the same way that you, whoever you are, you need to be able to protect your own family. You can't rely on the police to defend you, because one day will come where you can't call the police, where the phone lines don't work, where the cops ain't there. You got to be able to defend yourself. Anyway, let's keep moving here. North Korea dismisses U.S. military drill cuts, denies Trump talks. Yeah, dude, of course they did. When Trump, remember yesterday when Trump was asked, like, are you having conversations with Kim Jong-un? And he goes, well, yeah. That was the most obvious lie I've ever seen in my life. The most obvious lie I've ever seen in my fucking life. North Korea rejected claims of direct communication between Kim Jong-un and President Donald Trump on Wednesday and dismissed Washington's decision to reduce joint military exercises with South Korea as meaningless. Kim Yo-jong, sister of North Korean leader, said that through state media, the relationship between the two leaders remains excellent. U.S. hostile policies towards the Democratic People's Republic of Korea have not changed. Yeah, no shit, he fucking lied. Excuse me. Breaking news. The President of the United States of America lied. No shit. Trump regime is reportedly considering surrendering U.S. bases in the Gulf. Yes, this I have ready to go. Is this the Hormuz? Yeah. I have that, so I'll put that over there with the rest of the Hormuz letter. USS Lincoln wasn't resupplied because Hegseth hid that Iran destroyed the main base. Is this the 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain that I've been telling you about? This has got to be the 5th Fleet headquarters, right?
Different ways you could look at the war right now. You could accept the White House's version. Donald Trump insists that Iran wants a deal and that the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz. His son-in-law, Jared.
I said this. I said the reason why our ships in the Persian Gulf aren't able to get supplies is because they were relying on supplies coming in from the 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, right? The Iranians destroyed that. So all of the supplies now has to come from fucking Diego Garcia, which I believe is off the coast of Guam. So it's like 22 times the length in order to bring the food.
Kushner says that negotiations with Iran are robust, and Trump is outright dismissing concerns about conditions on the USS Lincoln as fake news. On the other hand, you could choose not to accept the White House's version, which they are offering no facts to back up their views. Reports overnight say a ship was hit on the Strait of Hormuz, damaging the engine room and causing
Diego Garcia is in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Whatever. Sorry, I'm a fucking dipshit. But it is still way further away than the 5th Fleet HQ in Bahrain.
Casualty. The Wall Street Journal says American officials are worried Oman could help broker a nuclear deal that is more favorable to Tehran. That is on top of its reporting that Iran is looking to now expand the war, as Trump says Tehran should put up the white flag of surrender. And the Pentagon is now admitting that a Navy destroyer was without power for 4 days last month, leaving the crew without drinkable water, meals, running toilets, or air conditioning during that period of time. Joining me now to discuss, David Rode, MS Now senior national security reporter, and Peter Baker still here. Okay, David, day after day, the president keeps saying things like the Strait of Hormuz, it's open, everything is great, the U.S. is in control, and now we have another ship hit overnight and a crew member dies.
It is not open. The Trump effort to reopen it has failed. And then the other strait here, this is how the war is widening, is in the Red Sea. There's fighting there. It's another Wall Street Journal story about traffic being slowed down there. 4 sailors were killed on a ship in the Red Sea last week. So the president's narrative, according to the sources I'm talking to, and just basic fact, is false.
Peter, right now Oman is negotiating with Iran over the strait. And in the midst of that, we talked about it yesterday, the president threatened to...
All right, enough of that. Domestic news. Natalie Harp. They're doing a whole story on Natalie Harp. I'm not going to be covering Natalie Harp today. I'm probably going to be covering her tomorrow, but I do want to sit here and watch that CNN interview with her brother before we dive in. Trump admin reveals plan to lock 3,000 migrant children in massive new detention facility.
Yeah, you record us. You almost ran us over. I didn't almost ran us over. Stop playing. Stop playing. You are full of all right? You're not funny. I will arrest you. Keep it up. I'm a legal citizen. Keep it up. I don't care. Oh my goodness. Keep it up. Lock you up. Okay. For what? The one that tried to run us over.
Oh, and you know what her brother said during the interviews, Natalie Harp's brother? He said that this is not the first time she's done this. And by that, he meant that, like, she used to write fawning letters to George W. Bush during the Iraq War. Like, it seems like she just has, like, a weird kink, and that kink is presidents of the United States of America, which, like, it's like a relatable kink because, like, clearly she just likes power. You know, she wants power. She wants to be close to power. I wonder if this is like a long game for some sort of political motivation, like reason. You know what I'm saying? You ever get ball cramps when you stretch? Jack, put yourself in the corner.
Run you over when? I got recording. I got dash cam. I got dash cam. That's a lie. Y'all full of You're full of I got a dash cam. I never tried to run you over.
Okay. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. All right, what else do we got? Trump regime pursues Kilmar Branco Garcia on previously dismissed charges. They're still targeting this fucking guy? My God. Parents push back in the Omaha shock gloves. Let's see.
They only care about the incident themselves. Now let's talk about the shock gloves. If they were used in this incident, the child was choking another child. You use the shock gloves on their arm. What would happen to the child being choked?
Electrocuted.
The electrocution would reach from the child's arm into the other child's throat. Think about that. This is a real situation that I was in. That I was in OPS high schools, in middle school. It's not too far from now. It was like 5 years ago. Anyways, prevention should be our focus. We cry when incidents happen, but no one cares for what led up to it. If we truly cared about students and the safety...
Let's double check to see. I just want to double check on Trump real quick. See if he's saying
things
anything
that
important.
really have something to do with the AI, but also car factories, car plants. They're moving into our country. Honda just announced, Toyota just announced they're moving their operations from Mexico, from Canada, from other places. We, by the way, probably have a deal with Canada. You probably saw that. We very major tariffs were going on to Canada today. We delayed it for 3 days because I think we have a deal with the Prime Minister, and good deal for everybody. So that's good. But the construction...
Jack, I've never had a ball cramp in my life. You probably should go to the doctor, son.
Jobs are enormous. We're building the biggest plants anywhere in the world. And I can say if I were the mayor of a town or the governor of a state and I had a chance to get a big plant in, an AI plant or a data center, I would absolutely want it because the jobs are enormous and the money paid, the taxes paid are just enormous. And if you don't take it, you're going to be left behind because there are plenty of places that want it. So I would say that maybe it can use a little public relations help. But if I were a governor or mayor, I would want that plant in my community.
Oh, this guy loves AI data
in a very
centers.
beautiful way. It's really very positive. Okay, thank you.
A little off topic. So you mentioned Joe Biden and some of the past leadership, and it's been about 69 days since we've seen Mitch McConnell. Sometimes when you look at Congress, it looks like the cast of Cocoon.
Yeah.
But I read a Cindy Adams column in the New York Post recently, and she talked about how we need term limits and someone needs to hold Congress accountable. Maybe you should be the person to do it. Would you support term limits for Congress or some type of cognitive testing? Because maybe if we had that the last 4 years, we wouldn't have ended up in some of these messes.
So term limits are very popular with the public. I've seen it both ways. I've seen where people go in and they get termed out and they're very talented and they're at the height of their career, you know, politicians. And you end up with total rookies in there, nothing gets done. And I've seen it the other way where people are there too long. We see that all the time. I see both. I always like to say that a term limit is an election. You know, the public's pretty smart. You see that last night. We had some great success last night. The Republican Party had tremendous success last night. But
no, you got shellacked last night.
I like to say that term limits should be elections, but I'm okay with term limits. Remember, the people that have to pass term limits are the people that are going to be voting on them to get out of office. So it's a little bit tough. That's not the easiest vote to get, is it, huh? But I'm okay with it one way or the other. I do think elections really turn people out.
Mr. President, I want to ask you about Canada, but first, the Treasury Secretary says that we could see the most impactful sanctions on Iran this week. When will they come, and what else could be sanctioned on Iran?
Well, we have things that we could sanction. We have very draconian sanctions, and we'll see what happens. Right now, the strait is open.
No, it
a lot
isn't.
of boats are coming through. People aren't reporting that, and
because
that may
it's not.
slow down a little bit at some point. But right now, a lot of boats are coming through. The naval blockade has been extremely effective.
No, it hasn't been.
I mean, literally, while it's up, and it's been for quite a while, you know, except for a couple of little pauses where we opened it purposely with a deal. But the deal didn't terminate. You know, the deal didn't turn out to be what they said. You know, when they tell us one thing and they do another. But the blockade has been 100% successful. No.
Exchanging written letters with Kim Jong-un.
I can't tell you that.
And are you hoping
But I get along with him. And you know what? The fact that I get along with him, because we have less percent tariffs are going to.
Oh, whatever. Shut up, you fat dipshit. All right, let's see. DSA movement as a whole. Still got to get people across to Florida about DSA, showing that a better tomorrow is possible, even if he doesn't run again. People remember a politician who actually isn't fit for yada, yada, yada. AI policy, this is made for the people, by the people. You're damn fucking right it is. You're damn fucking right. All right, so we got 2 videos we're going to be talking about. And where does this one end? I think it ends there. Yeah, it ends here. Okay. We got 2 different videos to make. We've been here for an hour. We haven't even started yet. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying yourself, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me immensely. All right, y'all ready to kirk in? Y'all ready to kirk in? I know that just looks like a shadow, but that's Beans. That's Beans right there. Beans. Hi, buddy. No, go back to bed. I'm sorry. Hi, baby boy. All right, y'all ready? Yeah, Kirkin hard or Charlie Kirkin? All right, that was stupid. Okay. All right, let's do this. Y'all ready to go? Y'all ready to go? Luigi, it's okay, mama. Just sleep. All right. Here we go. Looks like the Iranians are hitting Trump with an Uno reverse card. They are vowing to go on the full-fledged offense instead of the defense. The Iranians are vowing to destroy U.S. bases in Europe. And at the same time, as we know, the USS Lincoln had to do a tactical retreat, right? And Trump is considering surrendering our bases in the Middle East. And the thing is, guys, this is good news. We can finally be bees. No, but this is really good news because the only other, Trump has 2 options: surrender to the Iranians or nuke the Iranians. And if you can support unleashing a nuclear weapon on a civilian population, you're not a human being. And I do mean that seriously, but it's starting to look like Trump is considering surrender a lot more than he's considering the nuclear weapon, which I fully advocate for. I don't give a fuck if our lives get harder because of that. We deserve that. The American population deserves to pay the consequences for voting in a fascist pedophile that quite literally tried to start World War III. Things are getting bad, but I just want to remind you that we are now 6 months into this war, and this war was supposed to last 2 days. It was supposed to be easy, and we also started the war over a nuclear program that we claimed we obliterated in June of 2025. So the entire fucking thing has been a nightmare across the fucking board. At the same time, you have the Iranians saying that in 3 to 4 weeks, that America has 3 to 4 weeks to meet Iran's ultimatum. Otherwise, the IRGC will begin targeting American bases in Europe, right? So the Europeans better start to lock the fuck in and demand that Trump surrenders to the Iranians. Otherwise, this war is going to spread rapidly and probably end up merging with the Ukraine war. And we're also already starting to see that merge. I mean, the Russians are actually sending like artillery and the Chinese are sending shoulder-fired rockets all to the Iranians. They're giving them intelligence. Zelensky bombed an Iranian ship. Like, the 2 wars have been merging together, getting closer and closer. And if the Iranians start to bomb American bases in Europe, then yeah, it's literally going to turn into a world war. It's going to turn into a global conflict. At the same time, we're going to be talking about Trump's obsession with these vanity projects because there's some reporting coming from Maggie Haberman that Trump is very tired of being the president. He fucking hates the job. He hates it. And I don't blame him because his job now is to lose a war. So he's focused like 70% of his time on these vanity projects like the Epstein Memorial Ballroom and the military complex beneath it and these helipads and the drone port and the reflecting pool. Like, all he's focused on is these vanity projects because you got to remember, Trump is how would you say it? Trump is sort of like Bob the Builder, except he also rapes kids. He's got building autism. Like, some people have train autism, some people have jet autism, some people have bird autism. He's got building autism, and he's a fucking dipshit. And it's remarkable that this is actually the president of the United States, especially when you consider that he's a fat retard. That's a real thing. The president of the United States of America is a pedophile, and he's also a fat retard. It's fucking crazy. Nobody talks about that. But yeah, we have a supercut of him losing his fucking shit. Look at him standing there like a fucking idiot. Absolutely diabolical. And then the last thing we're going to be talking about is how the United States of America, at the behest of Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, or as I call him, Marcus Aurelius Rubius, the Grand Liberador of the Global South and the #1 most infamous race traitor. He's Cuban, and he calls for the complete destruction of Cuba. We are putting sanctions on the International Criminal Court and some of its representatives for the crime of investigating Israel. And the thing is they paint it out as if like this has anything to do with our support of Israel. It doesn't. What it has to do with is Jared Kushner, the pedophile Fuhrer's son-in-law. He's in charge of building New Gaza, right? And the Board of Peace, which is actually the Legion of Doom, you got to pay $1 billion to join the Board of Peace, and it's riddled with dictators. They plan on committing heinous crimes against humanity and the remaining Palestinian population, creating this AI-powered city with Trump towers and casinos and beachfront property, and then pushing the remaining Palestinians into these security zones. It's just a death camp. And, they want to give themselves preemptive pardons for the crimes they're going to commit. And a big part of that is discrediting the International Criminal Court before the International Criminal Court and the ICJ, the International Court of Justice, start to lay out arrest warrants for people like Donald Trump, Jared Kushner, Viktor Orban, Bibi Netanyahu, yada, yada, yada. So, a lot to talk about, and not too much time to talk about it. Oh, and then, by the way, massive DSA victory with Angie Nixon, the first ever socialist Senate nominee. We have an actual member of the DSA, an actual Democratic socialist who won her Florida Senate race Democratic primary, which means we are only one step away from having a genuine anti-Zionist socialist senator in the United States of America. Momentous victory. So yeah, hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. This is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser, a sponsor, a billionaire, a government, a PAC. And I say this because I want to remind you that this is entirely grassroots funded media by you, the viewer. And the only way that I make money is through the AdSense revenue. Let's get the chat up there. Is through the AdSense revenue and through donations by you, whether it be $2, $5, whatever you want. It goes a long way. I will always refuse these ad deals. I get them every fucking day, which they're essentially asking me to sell you, the viewer, and I'm never gonna fucking do it, and I can only do that because of you. So, if you want to help support the channel, of course, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with your group chat of dumb fuck idiots. Goes a long way. And then, if you want to help me financially, you want to help the growth of the OAL media empire, you can buy merch. We've got posters, mugs, hoodies, all that jazz located down below. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for $5. That'll give you access to member-only content. And then last but certainly not least, you can become a patron on Patreon for $5, $6, $7, whatever you want to donate. It goes a long way, and it gives you access to every single one of my videos on Patreon if you don't have YouTube Premium. That way, you don't have to watch the advertisements. Okay, without further ado, we're going to start with a little Iran war update here. This is from Axios from 8 hours ago. Iran war said to be over very soon, near 6 months. Remember that Trump has said the Iran war is going to be over very soon every day for the past 6 months. The Iran war, defined by fits and starts and strain on America's military, will hit the half-year mark next week, with both Washington and Tehran betting that they can outlast one another. Why it matters. The pedophile Fuhrer has repeatedly promised the fight would be quick, decisive, and over very soon. The big picture. The war's length is pushing once niche national security issues, munitions levels, defense contracting, at-sea replenishment, into everyday conversation. The Navy is the topic du jour, as prolonged deployments stress test ships, sailors, Marines, and their families. Zoom in. The Fuhrer said this week he wanted to claim the Strait of Hormuz and posted a map on Truth Social labeling it as U.S. territory. He also threatened to, quote, bomb the shit out of Oman, a country that has committed billions of dollars to buying U.S. weapons. Days earlier, word spread that an American aircraft carrier in the Pacific, the USS George Washington, was being sent to the Middle East to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln. The carrier's time at sea, more than 250 days, came under scrutiny as reports emerged that several distressed service members tried jumping overboard. Friendly reminder, the USS Abraham Lincoln is also accompanied by a whole bunch of destroyers. And, hold on, I have a little burp coming. Forgive me. Had a lot of coffee and a waffle, but the USS Abraham Lincoln is an aircraft carrier, and that aircraft carrier was accompanied by a bunch of destroyers. the destroyers are not leaving. And we have reports now that some of these destroyers lost power for like multiple days at a time. I wonder how that happened, Iran. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And because of the lost power, the power outage that lasted 4 days, they also didn't have access to clean drinking water. They also didn't have access to toilets. They also didn't have access to laundry. So it is not just the members of the USS Abraham Lincoln who are suffering, but seemingly those are the only ones who are able to get the message out. I can't wait until we get like a documentary in 5-10 years and they interview the survivors of these ships and they talk about how insane the conditions were, and then they compare them to like the conditions during World War II, because I wouldn't be surprised if our sailors aboard aircraft carriers and destroyers during World War II unironically had a better quality of life than they do right now, and that's because of the logistics. You know, we had incredible logistics, incredible supply routes throughout World War II, and right now, as I said, it is now being confirmed that the reason why the Lincoln and these other ships aren't able to get the supplies is because the Iranians bombed the ever-loving shit out of the 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, which was the supply hub, the logistics hub, where they were getting their fuel, and now they're getting their food, their water, all this shit is being shipped over from Diego Garcia, and it's taking an incredibly long time for them to get it. By the time that the supplies show up, all the food is rotten. It's absolutely fucked up. Okay, it's literally like a poop cruise. All right, let's keep reading here. The Pentagon hasn't held a press briefing in months. It has also faced criticism for obscuring troop deaths in an online tracker. Yeah, this is why we don't trust CENTCOM. The Pentagon hid the amount of U.S. casualties. If you had to guess real quick, viewer, how many U.S. casualties do you think we have taken? You had to guess. Because we have the number that the Pentagon has finally released. That number is 750 U.S. casualties. The reality of the matter is, it's way higher. It's way higher. It's way fucking higher. I truly believe we have taken thousands of casualties and they are not telling us the true number. All right, let's move on here. So this is from the Hormuz letter talking about how Iran is preparing to escalate. Breaking. Iran sees the full restart of the war as inevitable and is preparing to directly attack U.S. military targets all over Europe as part of its escalation plan. As soon as Iran's 3 to 4 weeks ultimatum to meet all of its demand runs out and Trump escalates, with Iran's IRGC having assessed strikes on U.S. assets in Bulgaria, Cyprus, and more, per FT and two senior Iranian sources in Tehran. An Iranian senior official says, should the U.S. go too far, Iran will defend itself at any price, go beyond the region, and hit Europe too. And no limits will be placed on Iran's response, adding, quote, a very big mistake, such as hitting our infrastructure, could make the war go beyond the region and reach Europe, end quote. Targets include Bulgaria's Bezmer Air Base in southeastern Europe and RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus. So, guys, remember how, like, the Spaniards were like, you're not fucking using our bases. Absolutely not. A lot of European allies were like, we're not helping you in this war. We're now starting to see the reason why. Even South Korea said they're not helping us. And it's because this is not a winnable war, and retaliation is inevitable. So if you're a European or if you're, a Asian ally of the United States of America, and you are allowing America to launch its attacks on Iran from bases in your country, you are essentially saying we are a valid target to be hit by Iran, right? And we know this because all of the Gulf coastal nations, the GCC nations like the UAE and Bahrain and Qatar, right? They're being bombed by the Iranians, not their nations, but the American bases in those nations. And it's now fucking with their infrastructure. And you have all of these Arab nations being like, get the fuck out. America, get the fuck out. Because you have your base here and now we're getting bombed because of it. So the Europeans were very smart in this decision. The officials directly reference Iran's attack last month on the U.S. base in Jordan, this is what I'm saying, which killed 3 U.S. service members as, quote, the most precise long-range attack Iran has carried out, demonstrating its capability to hit targets over longer distances. This was also a message to Europe. It can receive missiles, so it should know where it should stand in this war. Iran's IRGC has also separately examined attacking subsea fiber optic internet cables in the Strait of Hormuz in the event of any escalation and as the deadline runs out, as many within Iran increasingly see a resumption of the war as a matter of when, not if. So here's the thing. I said earlier that it seems like Trump is teetering on the edge of surrender. The reality of the matter is Trump doesn't really have that power. Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, you know, our generals, they are all going to stand in his way. And same thing with Marco Rubio. They're going to advocate for escalation. And the reality of the matter is Trump only has two options in terms of escalation. Full-scale boots-on-the-ground invasion of Iran, which will fail, or tactical nuclear strike on Iran, which will also fail. So hopefully, you know, we can pray if you're one of those praying dorks, but hopefully Trump does not decide to escalate this war, because it will lead to the opening of nuclear holocaust. The reality of the matter is we're probably going to do a boots-on-the-ground invasion of Karg and Keshem Islands, but even then, as you've seen, we don't have the supply chain. How are you going to get our troops food? How are you going to get them water if you can't even get that shit to the USS Abraham Lincoln? And I think that he knows that. And if he can't do a boots-on-the-ground invasion because we don't have the supplies, well, we got nukes. We got nukes. And also, a nuclear weapon is quite literally the only thing capable of penetrating Pickaxe Mountain. And the Israelis, using, you know, their propaganda campaign, the Israeli Hezbollah, have convinced the pedophile, our Fuhrer, that the Iranians moved their highly enriched uranium and their centrifuges 145 meters beneath a granite mountain called Pickaxe Mountain. And you can go ahead and ask your fucking Google, ask your AI or whatever, be like, what weapon can penetrate 145 meters beneath the granite mountain, Pickaxe Mountain? The only weapon that's possible, and even then, it's not a guarantee, is a nuclear weapon. So we are getting closer and closer to the reality of, you know, a nuclear exchange. More here from the Hormuz letter. Breaking. Trump orders U.S. envoys to completely halt all possible future negotiations with Iran, per CNN. Okay, so yeah, no, we're definitely going to go to war. We're in war, but we're definitely going to escalate this war if he's canceling all future negotiations with Iran. A U.S. official also tells CNN that the U.S. has, quote, informed allies it is in the process of changing its strategy towards Iran. Okay, well, we're out of munition. We know that. We don't have the long-range missiles. We don't have the precision missiles. We don't have the interceptors. You don't have the supplies for the troops. So if you're changing your strategy, I firmly believe they're talking about using nuclear weapons. I firmly believe that is what they're talking about. This comes as Iran is preparing for a preemptive strike and has switched its policy from defensive to fully offensive. And then one more from the Hormuz report. Breaking. The Trump regime is reportedly considering surrendering U.S. bases in the Gulf and weighing a pullback from the Persian Gulf after Iranian strikes crippled American bases, with allies now questioning whether U.S. forces have become a liability, per the Washington Post. They have. This is what I've been saying for fucking months. Welcome to the Valenti Videos Vindication Hour. It's a liability. You have U.S. troops in your country, then your country will be bombed. You see, this is the double-edged sword of, I think there's only 12 countries in the United States of America. Sorry, there's only 12 countries on planet Earth that the United States of America doesn't have a military presence in. And it's a double-edged sword because on one side, you can establish, military superiority, military supremacy across the entire planet. But on the other side, now America is everywhere. So what does that mean? It means your enemies don't have to have a fucking intercontinental ballistic missile to bomb the U.S. mainland in order to bomb America. They could just bomb the nearest base. They could just bomb the nearest base. And that's technically U.S. soil. And we know that because if you're born on a U.S. base, no matter what country it's in, you are a U.S. citizen for as long as we have birthright citizenship, which Donald is trying to get rid of. But Chris, I don't want to glow in the dark. Well, that's too damn bad. You better learn to speak in Ghoulish, you dumb fuck. 8 people familiar with the matter have told the Post that the Defense Department is assessing whether to rebuild damaged bases or scale back the U.S. military footprint in the Middle East. We don't have the capacity to rebuild these bases, so I'm assuming we're just going to start to withdraw, which is a good thing. Okay, now, here is some Fox News reporting on this. I haven't watched this yet, but I can guarantee you it's going to be a lot of warmongering.
Radio silence with Iran. Talks with the regime still remain at a standstill. All this amid new provocations out of Tehran against a U.S. ally in the Gulf. Trey Yingst has the follow live in Tel Aviv to bring us up to date from there. Trey.
Yeah, hey, Bill, good morning. Iran has continued to launch new attacks in the Gulf, firing 2 ballistic missiles at the UAE on Tuesday. The event triggered alerts there, forcing millions of people to seek shelter. In response, the UAE Foreign Ministry suspended all trade with Iran until further notice. Iran denied they were responsible for that missile attack. The
I believe Iran. If Iran says they didn't do it, then Israel fucking did. I wouldn't be surprised if Israel has Iranian missiles that they have, like, I don't know, like duds that went off over the past 60 years, and then they reverse engineered missiles to look like Iranian missiles so that they can, you know, fucking false flag. The Israelis love false flags, and the Iranians have no reason to deny it was them. The Iranians are very proud. Every time they bomb something, they go, "Yup, that was us. We fucking did it. Get fucked, fuck you." So when when a bomb goes off and the Iranians claim it wasn't them, I firmly believe it was Israel. This is what happened with Egypt, right? Egypt got bombed, and the Iranians said that wasn't us. I guarantee you that shit is fucking Israel.
It does come as the war of words between the United States and Iran advances, with no indication that a deal could be reached anytime soon. President Trump posted to Truth Social saying there are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Listen to this. There are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Dude, what a 180. What a 180, because every fucking day before this, Trump was like, "Oh, we're very close to peace. We're having negotiations right now." And now suddenly, there are no talks, no conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. The naval blockade remains in full force and effect. The Hormuz Strait is open and operating. All water mines have been removed or detonated. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. I want you to imagine you're a crewman on one of these oil tankers that's supposed to be transiting the Strait of Hormuz, and your fucking captain goes, "Hey, the President of the United States says all the mines have been removed or detonated, and the Strait of Hormuz is open for business. Let's go." And then you get fucking murked. You get Charlie murked. You get molly-whopped. You know, like, I don't understand. Like, there's a reason why insurance companies aren't even insuring these fucking ships anymore. This is dangerous stuff to be lying about.
The naval blockade remains in full force and effect. The Hormuz Strait is open and operating. All water mines have been removed or detonated. A day prior, U.S. negotiator Jared Kushner told Fox News.
U.S. negotiator Jared Kushner, bro, this is the fucking president's son-in-law. He has, he doesn't have the qualifications to be negotiating the Iran war and meeting with fucking Benjamin Netanyahu about rebuilding Gaza. My God, we live in a corrupt nation.
That communications with Iran were still underway. Immediately after that statement by President Trump about the strait, Iranian officials denied the critical waterway is open. The Iranians launched additional attacks on vessels there over the weekend, with Iran's foreign minister.
Dude, every time Trump says the Strait of Hormuz is open, Iran goes, "Oh yeah?" And then they fucking bomb a goddamn ship. It's hilarious. Trump goes, "Oh, the Strait of Hormuz is open," and then the fucking tankers go, "It's unfucking real, dude. We live in a nightmare."
Saying this.
Iran's foreign policy is a continuous process. Each government may move it forward through a series of initiatives, a different kind of dialogue, and new initiatives. But our foreign policy has a number of fixed principles that every government seeks to advance.
The Financial Times reports that Iran has weighed hitting U.S. targets in Europe if the war escalates again. The report specifically named countries such as Cyprus and Bulgaria.
The Iranians are about to miscalculate, and they've done...
Dude, two of the oldest and most decrepit motherfuckers you've ever seen having a conversation about sending people like me and you to die for Israel. I will never be able to forgive this sort of shit. Look at this fucking turkey neck. Look at that fucking thing. You could grab that shit and yank it down and play it like a fucking guitar. I mean, oh my God.
But before with this president, and they believe that being more aggressive, being more violent to create the image that this war is not working right and is going to cause him political damage, he's not going to stand for that.
The bottom line here, the region is stuck in a cycle of statements and strikes with no end in sight. Bill?
All right, Trey, thank you. Trey Yinks in Tel Aviv.
All right, more here. This is from The Independent. U.S. military presence in the Middle East could be cut back after the Iran war ends. The Pentagon is considering reducing U.S. military presence in the Middle East. Let me close this. Thank you. The Pentagon is considering reducing U.S. military presence in the Middle East following the conclusion of the Iran war, according to a report. Troops could be withdrawn from the Persian Gulf, officials told the Washington Post, following months of attacks by Iranian forces that have targeted U.S. bases across the region since the war began in late February. The Pentagon's policy office is evaluating U.S. regional presence, with the U.S. Central Command and Joint Staff also looking at a situation, a senior Pentagon official told the outlet. While no formal review has been ordered by U.S. Defense Secretary and alcoholic war criminal Pete Hegseth, decisions are going to have to be made on some of this stuff, the official told the Post. So, dude, this is part of what the Iranians laid out. They said, if you want an end to this war, you have to withdraw all of your troops from the entirety of the Levant. You can't have bases in the Middle East anymore. You can't have your illegal occupying force teetering on our fucking borders. And I agree. You know, like, I support independence for all fucking nations. I support sovereignty for all fucking nations. And the fact of the matter is, the United States military has been a weapon of imperialism for fucking 250 goddamn years. So this is overall a good thing for humanity. And the thing is, Trump clearly doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and he doesn't care what is going on. You got Maggie Haberman, who wrote that book about like what it's like in the inside of the Trump regime, and she's saying that 70% of Trump's brain is focused on these monuments. You know, he's obsessed with these vanity projects. He's like Bob the Builder, except he rapes kids and he's retarded. The New York Times' Maggie Haberman tells me 70% of the pedophile Führer's mind share, maybe plus or minus 5%, goes into his gilding, construction, renovation, and renaming and tribute projects. Quote, he is spending a huge amount of energy, mental and otherwise, on these renovation projects, beautification projects around Washington, and then monuments to himself. Haberman told me. There was no precedent in U.S. history of a sitting president devising such endeavors in their own name. And, just to give you an example, I mean, this is a little supercut of Trump from earlier today. You know, he needed more attention, so he went outside and started ranting and raving like a complete fucking lunatic. And this is the shit that he had to say. This is a 5-minute long supercut.
It's a million-year life. It's a very strong stone. It will never break. It will never leak. It will
Dude, he looks so pathetic when he stands like this.
never do it. This is the highest quality stone you can get, and especially for something like this, it's rated a million-year plus. That means it has a million-year life. Can you imagine that? It's 35,000 pounds per square inch. If you look at
I'm pretty sure he's talking about a helipad that he's having constructed on the White House front lawn.
hard concrete is 5,000 pounds. This is 35,000. So nature is stronger than what the human can produce. It's really pretty amazing. It comes from California, from a quarry in California, and it's a very special stone. This is also
like, dude, you've never heard him talk in detail like this about anything other than his fucking vanity projects.
So this carries on out into the helipad. The pad is out there now. It's very close to being finished. The hard work is done. The beautiful work is finished. They're putting the granite top on, and the granite top says, "The seal of the United States of America." That's the exact term. If you look at the seals of the presidents, the seal of the President of the United States of America, meaning the president is in the White House. This is for many presidents. This isn't for me. This is for many presidents.
This isn't for me, and then immediately goes to his lying accordion hands. This isn't for me.
Have it for a long time. Put in, if you come back.
I was saying this earlier before we started recording, but part of the reason why I want Trump to live after his presidency is over is because of how obsessed with these vanity projects he is, and I want him to watch them be obliterated. This is a message to whoever the fuck becomes the next president of the United States of America. Destroy his Epstein Memorial Ballroom. Destroy the helipad. Destroy the drone port. Destroy everything that this motherfucker has built. I don't even give a shit if it's good. I don't give a shit if you like it. Destroy it simply because he fucking built it, and let this fucking demented dotard watch as everything he built comes tumbling down. He'll be crashing the fuck out on Truth Social the entire fucking time. I want this motherfucker to suffer.
3 weeks, it's in shock. But you come back in 2 or 3 weeks, this has all been redone. It's all been topsoiled. In other words, we put topsoil, brand new earth on top. Very, lot of good ingredients in that earth for grass.
There's, a lot of good ingredients in that earth in terms of grass. Shut the fuck up, you rape kids.
The grass, you're very happy. And this grass will look so beautiful. If you remember, it had big sunken areas in here, and it was pretty bad. It was in bad shape. You know, beautiful new roadway. They get out of the car, and they walk down this path onto...
Mr. President, we're currently losing a war that's going to lead to a nuclear holocaust. Do you have anything to say about that?
And they can have cocktails and everything outside of the White House, and then they go into the ballroom. Even the military, they can use it like that, and we have...
We're gonna have cocktails! Oh, we're gonna have cocktails on the helipad!
So much a military component with the drones and the bomb shelters and everything else that we have in there. So it's really, you know, that's...
Did he just say the drones and the bomb shelters? Okay, so he is just admitting that the White House Epstein Memorial Ballroom is it's a front. It's a front for the Fuhrer bunker he's building beneath it, which is where he plans on staying when he goes for his 3rd and 4th term, and when the fucking nukes start falling. Great!
It off as a ballroom. And before we started work, the military came to see me and they say, sir, we have an opportunity to do something incredible here. And we've been trying to do it for 100 years. But we've never had an opportunity like that. So I had to make that decision. And I said, look, go ahead, design what you want. And that goes down 5 stories. You know, it goes down almost 65 feet.
Oh, conveniently deep enough to survive a nuclear blast.
We'll take any kind of shot. But it's something we really needed badly for the helicopters. But we get a secondary use, and that's...
Imagine all those men running a train on Donnie's fat dump truck ass.
You can have some beautiful events here, including the greeting of people from far...
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
Countries. They'll be very impressed. Right now, they're not impressed when they see coming in on asphalt, and they're not impressed. It was never very impressive, but they're going to go the opposite. And one of the reasons, by the way, for the last number of years, no tents have been used, because tents are very dangerous. Tents are made out of plastic or canvas, and they don't...
Really, listen to this motherfucker. Listen to how lucid he actually is when he's talking about his renovation projects, his vanity projects. Like, this is just like proof that this cocksucker just doesn't give a fuck about anything other than his vanity projects. And you ask him a question about the Iran war, like, oh, sir, family members of sailors aboard the USS Lincoln are concerned about the quality of life. No, they're not. Fuck you, you're gay. Like, unironically, that's how he fucking talks. Sir, do you think that the sailors aboard the USS Lincoln have been deployed for too long? Not nearly long enough. Fuck you, you're gay. Like,
stop even the smallest of ammunition or bullets, not even the smallest. Ours will stop. You take AK-47s, you take the most powerful, it laughs at it. It laughs at it. I was saying to one of the military guys, how does it do with an AK-47? He goes, up, meaning it can take a lot more.
No shit, your bulletproof glass can withstand a 7.62 round, you fucking dipshit.
Including drones. So I thought this would be everybody very much. Thank you.
Are you exchanging written letters with Kim Jong-un?
Are you exchanging written letters with Kim Jong-un? The reason why they're bringing this up is because the other day, we covered this yesterday, Trump was asked, like, are you having communications with Kim Jong-un? And he goes like this. Yeah. Just the most obvious lie of all time. And then today, the North Koreans came out and were like, not true. We have a good relationship with Donald, but no, he has not been talking to the Supreme Leader.
Can't tell you that. But I get along with him. And you know what? The fact that I get along with him, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. He has 57 very powerful nuclear weapons.
57? Bro, I don't think the United States government has ever disclosed how many nukes North Korea has. And he just came out and said it. Like, I know damn well there are some fucking military generals out there fucking just hand to mouth going, 57, bro, you can't tell people that. You can't tell people that.
Should have never allowed it to happen. They should have never allowed it. If I were president, I wouldn't have allowed it. But
literally proof of the Hasanabi nuclear doctrine. You know why we don't fuck with North Korea? They got 57 nukes. You know why we don't fuck with China? They got hundreds of nukes. You know why we don't fuck with the Russians? They got hundreds of nukes. Iran, if you're watching this, Habibi, get a nuke. Hold that shit up, and immediately we'll stop bombing you. Immediately we'll stop bombing you.
he's got him. I get along with him very well. I can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And I know Kim Jong-un very well. and he's going to be fine. As long as we have a smart president, he's going to be fine. If we have a dumb president, then he's probably not going to be so fine.
Are you expecting to meet with him later this year?
Yeah, I will be.
Mr. President.
About what?
Reopen negotiations.
Maybe at some point, but
He was asked, will you reopen negotiations with Iran? He goes, maybe at some point.
right now, I think the situation is so good, but maybe at some point. Look, it's very simple. They have to get rid of completely. They have to get rid of no nuclear weapons. Iran cannot have a nuclear. You know why? Because they'd use it.
Iran can't have a nuclear weapon because they'd use it. That's why I'm gonna fucking nuke them. Okay? Because if I don't fucking nuke them, they're gonna fucking nuke somebody. So I gotta fucking nuke them. I need the 25th Amendment fucking immediately, bro.
And we're not going to let them use it. So Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And they won't. Thank you very much. I'm glad you came.
So that's the supercut of him so focused. And listen to how much he talked about the vanity projects. Then he's asked about war and he goes, nah, it's fine. Nope, not talking about that. No, fuck you. You're gay and a communist. All right. Last story I want to show you is this. The United States of America sanctions the International Criminal Court president and prosecutor. Marco Rubio targets ICC's Tomoko Akane and Abdoulaye Sey, who is investigating Israeli war crimes in Gaza. I mean, that's where we're at, bro. Where not only do we arm and fund Israel's genocide, but we sanction the people who have the audacity to investigate Israel for their war crimes. The U.S. has sanctioned the president of the International Criminal Court and a prosecutor tasked with investigating crimes committed by Israel during its war on Gaza. The new sanctioned designations were unveiled by Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, who called the Hague-based ICC a corrupt and fatally politicized supranational court that has maliciously abused its authority and exceeded its mandate in a statement. Bro, you can't have a functioning planet without some set of rules. Without some set of fucking rules. You know, Beans, are you good? Oh, he's just sleeping. You can't, you need to have international law. We need to abide by international law. My God. Rubio announced that the United States would sanction Tomoko Akane of Japan and the ICC president, and Abdoulaye Seye of Senegal, an ICC senior trial lawyer, because they had directly engaged in efforts by the ICC to investigate, arrest, detain, or prosecute officials whose government had not consented to ICC jurisdiction. What the fuck does that even mean? This just means that, you can commit heinous war crimes, you could commit genocide, you could kill millions of people, and then when the ICC issues an arrest warrant, like they did for Netanyahu, you could go, oh, but I don't recognize the ICC. Therefore, the arrest warrant doesn't apply. Bro, this is like if the fucking cops issued a warrant for your arrest, and you go, oh, but I don't respect the police, so that warrant doesn't apply. You can't do that. You can't do that. But world leaders can. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, what a joke. The State Department last month unveiled an effort to dismantle the threat posed by the ICC to U.S. sovereignty. The International Criminal Court poses a threat to U.S. sovereignty? I don't even know what to say. I feel like I don't have to say anything. I feel like you understand what this means. This just means that we consider ourselves above any rules and regulations. We consider ourselves God kings. It's fucking disgusting. All right, listen, that's what I got for you for the Iran war updates. I'm going to make a second video right now. We're going to be talking about the massive Democratic Socialist victory of Angie Nixon, the first ever socialist candidate who won her Democratic primary for Senate in the state of Florida, which means we are only one step away from having a socialist in the United States Senate. So we're going to be talking about that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're here live, you stay. We're making that second video. And also consider donating to the channel in any way that you deem fit. And do me one last favor, click the video on screen. It's a banger, and I know bangers. Incredible, 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 incredible. All right, so let's move on to Angie Nixon. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to go? That was a banger. That was an absolute banger. I know that was a banger. That was an absolute fucking banger. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Here we go. We've got a massive victory for socialism over in Florida. Angie Nixon, a member of the DSA, an anti-Zionist socialist, won the Democratic primary for the Senate in Florida. This is fucking massive news, okay? So first of all, we got to talk about, like, Angie Nixon. You know, she's just like us. She's a socialist. She wants universal health care. She wants universal child care. She wants to defund Israel. She's an anti-Zionist. You know, these are all the core tenets of socialism, and these are things that will better the quality of life for all Americans except for the fucking billionaire Epstein class, and they can all go kick rocks and suck my dick from the back. But let's just listen to the NBC News coverage of this when it came out.
Projects that Angie Nixon has defeated Alexander Vindman in the Democratic primary for the United States Senate in Florida.
By the way, Vindman had like millions and millions of dollars on his side. Angie Nixon, $60,000. $60,000 was all she had for her fucking campaign, and she won.
This one is a monster of an upset. Vindman raised a ton of money, came into this with a ton of national name recognition, national support.
Vindman was very famous for, I believe he was the one who like led one of the impeachment trials against Donald Trump.
In this race, and the hope of Democrats that he could make this, we're going to news now here in a second, that he could make this a fight, put Florida on the map nationally. Instead, Angie Nixon from the left has defeated him handily. NBC News.
Incredible, incredible. Okay, so we have a little article talking about this from the Washington Post. Why a stunning Democratic Socialist win in Florida is different. Angie Nixon's victory in the Senate primary was powered by voters who normally don't gravitate to progressives in the state's lowest income and less educated counties. We're going to read this, but before we do, hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. This is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with a sponsor, an advertiser, a billionaire, a government, a PAC. This is entirely grassroots funded by you, the viewer. And if you want to help support this channel, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with your group chat of dumb fuck idiots. If you want to help me out financially and keep the growth of the OAL media empire up, OAL means Only Americans Left, there's a couple of ways you can. You can buy merch, we got posters, we got hoodies, mugs, stickers, all that jazz located down below. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for $5. That'll give you access to member-only content. And then last but certainly not least, you can become a patron on Patreon for $5, $6, $7, $1 million. Whatever you want to donate on Patreon, it goes a long way, and it gives you access to all of my videos on Patreon if you don't want to watch the advertisements, which you have to see if you don't have YouTube Premium. Okay, thank you, and let's dive. A Democratic Socialist pulled off a stunning upset in Florida's Democratic primary for a U.S. Senate seat Tuesday, defeating her better-funded opponent with a strong showing in communities where progressives usually struggle. State Representative Angie Nixon's victory over retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman was powered by voters in Florida's lowest income and least college-educated counties, as well as the ones with the most black votes, according to a Washington Post analysis of election and demographic data. That coalition, built by Nixon, who joined the Democratic Socialists of America a few weeks ago, defies the traditional voting bloc for left-wing candidates who have won primaries this year. Nixon was the clear underdog headed into Tuesday's contest, with the two-term lawmaker from Jacksonville raised just under $1 million since entering the race this year, compared with the $16 million Vindman raised nationally from Democrats drawn to his history as a key witness in the pedophile Fuhrer's first impeachment trial. So let this be known, she was outspent 16-1, and she still fucking won. It doesn't matter how much money they throw at us. The power of the people cannot be defeated by the power of Israeli shekels. Let's keep going. Nixon's 12 percentage point victory, that's a sweep. Nixon's 12 percentage point victory was among the biggest primary shockers this year, and the latest example of the left-wing insurgent toppling a favorite of the Democratic establishment. Now I want to talk about one thing. This is a Senate race. You know what else is a Senate race? Abdul El-Sayed in Michigan. Abdul El-Sayed had like $70 million thrown against him from AIPAC, right? He was victim to the most Islamophobic attacks ever. They labeled him as a jihadist, right? But get this, Abdul El-Sayed isn't even in the DSA. He's not endorsed by the DSA. He's not a socialist. He's a capitalist. Yet, you go on Fox News and they say he's a socialist, communist, jihadist. Meanwhile, we have a black woman who is an actual socialist, and she didn't get like none of these attack ads thrown at her. Why is this? It's because Abdul al-Sayed is Muslim. What I'm trying to say is that the Islamophobia is so rampant and so disgusting that I think they actually lost their target. Like they didn't even notice that there was an actual socialist winning their Senate campaign in Florida because they were so focused on the fact that Abdul Rahman Muhammad al-Sayed is a fucking Muslim. And they were like, oh, we can't have a Muslim. And they didn't even notice the fact that there was an actual socialist running in Florida. It's fucking hilarious. Quote, we definitely knew we were going to win. We just didn't know we were going to win by that much, Nixon told the Post on Wednesday, hours after her race was called. Nixon, however, distinguished her victory from the slate of Democratic Socialists who have scored upset victories in Democratic primaries nationwide. Excuse me, I have another burp coming. Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned. While she ran on progressive policies, such as universal child care and Medicare for all, she said she did not agree with the DSA on all issues and believed her campaign, not a national organization, allowed her to build a coalition that looked different than other Democratic Socialist wins. By the way, this is very important. She said she did not agree with the DSA on all issues. You know what that's called? Being a free thinker. You know what that's called? Not being in a cult. This is what differs us from MAGA. I'm in the DSA, but I'm also not a prison abolitionist. I believe that we should have somewhere to throw Donald Trump and the rest of his fucking pedophile goons, you know? You do not need to agree with every single stance in the political movement that you are a part of, because if you do, if you have undying loyalty, you are in a cult. That's what MAGA is. That's why Trump came out and said, if you want to see the release of the Epstein files, you're fake MAGA. Because if you dissent from the Fuhrer in just the slightest bit, you are out of the cult, right? This is not a cult. You do not have to agree with everything the DSA platform stands for in order to call yourself a democratic socialist, and that is good. That is good. Okay, more. Quote, I know people think that I'm this overnight success story, but I'm not. I've been doing the work, she said. Nixon has been a Democratic organizer for decades and unseated an incumbent to join the Florida House in 2020. Quote, also, I am a really good campaigner and I am really strategic. I mean, I'm going to honk my horn a little bit. Nixon, 42, was not endorsed by the DSA or any of its local chapters in Florida, so she was less tied to the group's brand. And she said she also joined the Working Families Party, another progressive entity. Moderates prevailed elsewhere in primaries. David Jolly, a former Republican congressman turned Trump critic, handedly won the Democratic nomination for governor, and Representative Jared Moskowitz easily fended off a Democratic Socialist primary challenger. But Richie Floyd, a DSA member and St. Petersburg City Council member, said her victory still represents a win for the broader progressive movement, which is aligned on issues such as Medicare for all and the rights of Palestinians. Quote, she won on her own merits as a great candidate that connected with voters, but her platform and values show that DSA has a bright future in this state. So Florida, you got a job, and your job is to elect the first ever DSA socialist senator. This is what we fucking need. Now, I do want to talk about Florida a little bit because friend of the show and DSA member, anti-socialist, organizer, Oliver Larkin, he got fucking shellacked by Jared Moskowitz. However, Jared Moskowitz received over $833,000 himself personally from AIPAC. He had millions and millions of dollars, Israeli shekels, backing his movement. This man is a fucking scumbag, but I want to show you just how disconnected Jared Moskowitz truly is from his people, right? So when Jared Moskowitz won, he did not thank his voters. He did not say Oliver Larkin did a great job. He said, my condolences to Hassan Piker. That's what he did. The first thing he did was went on Twitter and said, my condolences to Hassan Piker, right? And Hassan responded completely accurately. He goes, it's pretty wild that his first thought was a prominent critic of Israel before even thanking his own constituents, LMAO, really worried about his genocidal, emotional support apartheid state. And this is 100% true. I mean, this motherfucker is addicted to just beating Hassan Piker. This goes to show you, Hassan derangement syndrome has become a rampant fucking problem. Okay, now the last thing I want to show you, this doesn't have to do with the DSA victories, but I found this incredibly important, and I'm going to read this to you. I think that if I have a, a large population of people who watch my videos, then I feel like I have an obligation to read this to you. The following foods have been recalled: frozen blueberries, iceberg lettuce, shell eggs, mixed berries, pistachio nut butter, green powder supplements, jalapeno containing dips, salsa, and guacamole products, soup kits, salad dressing, granola, dog food, jalapeno peppers, pizza cheese bread products, dried herring fish, requesón cheese, soft ricotta cheese, infant formula, multiple cheese varieties, cottage cheese and ricotta products, organic moringa capsules and powder, smoked whole herring, enoki mushrooms, Parmesan ranch seasoning, cheese and garlic croutons, tahini, specialty beverages, multiple green superfood supplements, powdered beverage mixes, infant formula, potato chips, pork rinds and seasoning products, snack mixes, sour cream and onion cheese curds, flavored popcorn seasoning, coleslaw products, pita chips, chocolate bars, white cheddar seasoning, kippered herring, peeled garlic, raw milk, cheddar cheese, brain tonic supplements, dried croaker fish, salmon products, cream cheese and tofu spreads, chicken dog treats, yellowfin tuna, organic chia seeds, green superfood supplements, tamales, shrimp paste, chocolate bars again, sea moss gel superfood, and cheese products.
Hi, my name is Robert Phelps Kennedy, and I'm going to make America healthy again. I'm going to take your newborn son, and I'm going to sacrifice him to Poseidon, Lord of the Sea. I'm going to make a trade. I'm going to say, Lord Poseidon, I give you this infant baby, and in exchange, I want the head of a beluga whale. I like to felch cum straight out of an ass.
Dude, like, we live in hell. We live in hell. We live in the United States of hell. Fucking diabolical. That is so much food recalled, man. Fuck can you eat? Dirt? Dirt? Who the fuck is drinking raw milk? Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti VOD. If you're here live, you stay. We got to get these videos uploaded. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, send this into a group chat of dumb fuck idiots, and also consider donating to the channel in any way that you deem fit. Do me one last favor. Click the video on screen. It is a banger, and I know bangers. Whoo! All right. Those were pretty good. If I do say so myself, those were pretty D's. Did you guys have fun? Did you guys have fun? Did you guys have fun? Oh, Avi's here. Hi, Avi. You're saying wow to the recall list? Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Long recall list. Everybody say hi, Avi. Avi, we were glazing the fuck out of you earlier. Glazing the fuck out of you. You missed it. You missed all the glaze. Glazed you like a donut, son. All right. Avi, do you like this thumbnail? I took the helmet. I found the helmet. This is episode 534. This is great. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Shouts out to King Nelson for making these thumbnails. All right, so we need titles for this. Iran warns it will begin targeting U.S. bases in Europe as the war rapidly escalates. Iran is going on the offensive. Europe is doomed. From my balls being too big? That's what Jack said. That's what Jack said. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. I don't know if women are even real. They're not. Women aren't real. All women are just men in dresses. Okay. Okay. Let's publish this, and then we'll trim the fat. Right there. Looks like the Iranians are hitting Trump with an... There we go. What the fuck was going on here for a second? Hold on. Studio. Content. Why is this video ineligible to earn? View details. Take action. Trim out segment. There we go. What was claimed? Oh, I think it was like CNN or something. Oh, whatever. We'll just cut it out anyway. Trim out segment. Knowledge confirm. Beautiful. All right, now let's get this second video uploaded. CBS, I think, or I think Fox News, whoever the fuck. It was the part with Joey Jones saying that like you're all fucking pussies, go fight and die for Israel. All of that got copyrighted. Fox News is so pathetic, bro. They'll do anything to hide their genocidal rhetoric. Okay. Let's get the second thumbie in. Episode 535. Massive socialist win. The rise of socialism is inevitable. This DSA candidate just won the Senate primary in Florida. Okay. Post this and then trim the fat. We've got a massive victory for socialism. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, now I got to make our advertisements. Now I got to make our advertisements. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So, Iran is going on the offensive, vowing to destroy U.S. bases all across Europe if the United States of America does not concede to the resounding Iranian victory over the illegal and offensive war that Donald Trump waged in the name of Israel, because the Israelis have a vault in Tel Aviv with videos of him raping children. The Iranians say they're going to start destroying American bases in Europe. So Europe better lock the fuck in and demand that Trump resigns or the 25th Amendment is invoked, because Donald will never surrender to the Iranians. He is now preparing to unleash the power of nuclear weapons on them because he's a fucking madman. At the same time, you have the conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln are, of course, completely fucking heinous, but those conditions do not simply apply to the USS Abraham Lincoln. That's the aircraft carrier. Those same conditions apply to the destroyers who were accompanying it in the region, and we now have reports that some of those destroyers lost power for 4 days miraculously. And hey, Iran, we all know what you did. I guarantee you Iran did something in order for them to lose power. And because they lost power, they didn't have clean drinking water or anything of the sort. At the same time, the United States of America is planning to withdraw some of our troops from the Middle East. Trump doesn't have the capability or the logistics to rebuild all of the bases that the Iranians destroyed. If you've been sleeping under a rock, maybe you don't know this, but the Iranians completely barbecued chickened a fuckload of our bases across the region. And I don't mean that facetiously. I mean, like, those bases are gone. We also know that the Pentagon has been lying about the amount of casualties. They are now willing to admit that there's at least 750 U.S. casualties. That number is probably way higher. It's probably in the thousands, but we'll never be able to know the truth because CENTCOM is lying, and the entire United States government is lying because they don't want to cause mass panic in the fact that we have absolutely lost this war. Trump is also just unbelievably obsessed with these vanity projects, and he went on the news, and he went outside, and, you know, he just needs his fucking attention, and was talking about how, oh yeah, we're going to be drinking cocktails on the helicopter pad, and then, you know, the granite is going to last at least 1 million years. That's not a joke. That isn't a joke. He literally said that. He's just, you know, he's like Bob the Builder, except he's also like a pedophile, and he's also, like, you know, demented and mentally disabled. It's absolutely wild. Anyway, 2 new YouTube videos. Oh, second YouTube video, we talk about the massive socialist win for Angie Nixon, DSA candidate, an actual Democratic socialist, just won the Democratic primary for Senate in the state of, not Michigan, in the state of Florida, right? So this is massive fucking news for socialists across the board. Yeah, go check it out. 2 new YouTube videos. Go check them out. 2 new YouTube videos. Mwah. So Iran is going on the offensive. Iran vows to destroy U.S. bases in Europe. Massive DSA victory in Florida. Two new episodes of the Valenti. Replace the word negative with positive. What? What? Two new episodes of the Valenti VOD on YouTube and Patreon. I don't even know what you mean by that, bro. I really don't know what you mean by that. All right, that advertisement is posted on TikTok. Let's get it on YouTube, and let's get it on Instagram. A damn toothpick. Trying to vape a little bit less. Why don't you guys in America? Oh, Fed post. There's a Fed post. Have $5 for just being a real man. Love you, Chris. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you too. Did you just say Instagrussy? I did. I did. I did. New episodes of the Valenti pod. Related video. That one. Upload. And now let's get her on Instagram. Two new episodes of the Valenti VOD on YouTube and Patreon. Change both the words positive and negative with Aladdin. Luigi, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hi, Mama. Hi, little girly pop. Don't hurt her. No biting. No biting. No biting. No fighting. No fighting. No fucking fighting! Are you doing a live with the Party Crashers? Yeah, I think I'm going to pop in there for a bit, but I do have to, I have to go. So I'm going to pop in there just for a little bit. Alrighty. Just texted Steve. If you want to see me, I'm going to be on the Party Crashers live stream next. We're going to move there. We are going to move there, gang. I'm going to pop in over there for a little bit. I don't know how to raid. I don't know how to raid, bro. Does anyone know how to fucking raid? I don't think you can on YouTube. Yeah, I don't think you can. Oh, the fucking camera, dude. Why does it always do this at the end of the stream? YouTube raids are absolutely a thing. Well, I don't know how to fucking do it. I don't even know if they're live on YouTube. They're not live on YouTube. Oh. Let me see. Oh, they are live. They're live right
Want
here.
wealth? No, wealth is not a disease. Greed is a disease. Pay attention, Puyan. So if you go up to anybody in the United States and ask them what would you do with $100 million, you can ask them 10 million, 20 million, it doesn't matter. Just ask them a couple $1 million bucks. Guarantee everybody would say the exact same thing. Most people, 99% of people.
Use the built-in YouTube studio tool
99%
seamlessly send your
of people would
audience.
say the same thing. I would give the money. They would probably say, "Well, you know, I would do what I had to for my
Beans,
family.
please. I'm
maybe
trying
buy
to
my
read.
kids something nice. Maybe take care of an aunt or an uncle or a friend or a family
Beans,
member that needs
thank
my
you.
help." And once I knew that me and my family was
Open
taken
your
care of,
stream
I would
settings,
do everything
live
I
control
could
room,
for the rest
stream
of your life,
dashboard,
not
edit on the top right.
That's what every.
Let me mute this.
Now, the reason why I said 99%.
Okay.
Is because 1% of people in this country, the top 1%, and listen, I'm not talking about every.
All right, let me see if I can figure this out.
Like a lot of people that are the wealthiest of the wealthy. They hear what would you do with $10 million, and they would never say this, but what they would do is they would keep working. And Elon Musk.
Stream settings. Edit. Customization.
Instead, what does he do?
Redirect allows you to add a live stream. Okay, add redirect.
He cannot be any more isolated than he currently is, so he's trying to literally go to another planet to enjoy it, in order to avoid having an intimate relationship with.
Party crashes with Steve Tapas. Hold on.
Yeah, ask anybody you know. What would you do with $10 million?
Oh, they don't have raids on. They don't have raids on.
Oh, Chris Raid incoming. What's up, everybody?
Steve doesn't have raids enabled.
Talking about greed, we're playing a little chess. We got Chris coming in. Oof, it's gonna be a big day. Big day, people. Thanks for joining.
Oh, I don't think they can because they don't have enough followers. I don't know if they can.
I don't have raid enabled. How do you? I don't know how to enable raid because I'm a noob. Hang on a second. I gotta Google this shit. Chris, I'm working on it, man. Hang on a second. Oh, Meg is gonna do it. Thank God. Yeah, I'm playing chess right now. I am playing chess.
Check my last super chat. Top 3 Pokemon? I've never played Pokemon in my life, dude. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yo, I had a good ass day today, though. What's up, Valentards? That's what I was trying to tell you. Thank you, Apex Visuals. Love to see you here. He's also trying to Google it. No, I'm not trying to Google it. I got my co-host Googling it, and I'm losing in chess now. What's up, Obvious Lion? Oh, Meg, do you want to hop in or no?
No.
They're talking about you? No, I hear them.
I know. I don't know how to. I don't know if we can because we're not monetized on YouTube.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go now. Bye.
Did you try it?
Try what?
Stream settings, edit, customization, redirect.
Let me see here. Viewer posts, mentions. Let's see here. Community. What's going on, everybody? Sorry, I'm worthless, but don't worry, it's all gonna work out.
Turn up their lives volume. Copy. Beans, can you? Thank you.
Community moderation permissions. Here we go. Oh, we're getting there. Select a community tab. Live redirects. Let's see here. Comments. Guys, this is awful.
I'm fucking up his whole stream.
Upload defaults channel. Oh, I don't think I have ratings. Oh, no. Am I not even looking at the chat right now? Never doubt yourself unless you're MAGA. No, I always doubt.
All right,
myself.
listen. I don't think we can raid them.
Job.
I'm gonna mute him.
Chris.
I don't think we can raid him, but you can all just join his fucking stream. Okay, so here's the here it is. Party Crashers with Steve Tapas and Megan T. So just head over there. Head over there. Head over there. I'm gonna end the stream and join his. All right. I'm going to end the stream and head over there. I love you all. Thank you very much. If I don't see you, I'll see you tomorrow. If I do see you, I'll see you over there. Love you. Bye-bye.